Welcome, all of my podcasters, my live streamers, my YouTubers, Facebookers, and, of course, podcasters. Did I say that? How about Rockfinners? That's a new one, Rockfin. Folks, this is not the Tonight Show, the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Boring, Jimmy Trevor Noah, Jimmy Stephen Coboredom show. This is the right show. It happens at the right place at the right time just about every single Wednesday. I'm drinking it out of my LGBTQ mug. That's Let's Get Biden to Quit. We're going to talk about that quite a bit. And this show has been described as a support group for normal people. That's right. And you know what? That's the minority now, so it's time we all stick together. If you're a normal person, put your glass up with me, give me a cheers, and let's get this show started. First thing I like to know, where are you from and what is your favorite summer activity? Mine, swimming. I just love swimming. It's so good for you, makes you feel fit, gets your shoulders, you're working your neck muscles, your arms start to lose that body fat right there. So this is summer. In the winter, I'll be a little bit, heftier. I need to protect myself from the cold. But podcasters, you can't see this, but oh my goodness, lean and mean right now in August. Folks, if you want your comment to be highlighted, you're going to do a super chat. That's a quick way for me to see it a little bit bigger. I miss them sometimes, but usually it's a big alert. And it says, this guy wants you to read his comment. This woman wants you to address her. This man who thinks she's a woman wants to re-identify as a man and have you read this comment with a woman's voice. Whatever your deal is, throw a tip in the jar. It makes it that much easier for me to find it. You can subscribe on my YouTube channel, Facebook, meh, or Instagram. But I want to announce that thanks to you, we've now hit, as of today, 328,000 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. The reason that is amazing is because it bumps me up to a new level. Folks, I am no longer the most famous half Persian comedian in the world. I am the most famous Persian comedian on YouTube. I went from 50% to 100% thanks to you. I no longer have to be half. You say, are you following the most famous Persian comedian on YouTube? And people will be like, who's that? And you'll be like, duh, he used to be half Persian, now he's full. That's credibility. And each and every one of you helped me get there. So how do we do this? We do this with the help of the people watching. I'm the only show that encourages you to interact, to come into the chats. Podcasters, you're listening to this a week later. There's people on here right now asking questions, making fun of each other, talking about me and the way my eyes look very tired all the time. And they don't know that that's how Persian eyes look. So they think I'm just a tired white guy. It's okay. We encourage that. But all I want you to do is click the thumbs up button. And over the weeks, we've gotten more aggressive. We don't ask you to just click thumbs up. I want you to get into a rental car, pay for the extra insurance, duct tape your laptop to a brick wall, and crash headfirst, flying out of your windshield and smashing the like button with your forehead like a crash test dummy. That would be awesome. And why do I like doing this show? Well, I almost didn't even do it. I said, who wants to hear from a comedian? I didn't know at the time I was smarter than almost every journalist on CNN and MSNBC. I mean, they all wear the same glasses. So it's like, look, these are the We're Smart glasses. And the glasses are chained to the desk. So when they leave, then Rachel Maddow puts them on. Then she takes them off. Then Brian Stelter puts them on. And then at the end of the day, Don Lemon wears them and then hands them to Anderson Pooper Scooper, and he puts it. So these are the official I'm smarter than you glasses. I said, oh my gosh, they're not better than me. They just have those glasses. I was fooled all this time. Were you fooled by those glasses? Well, I'll tell you, since I started doing this show, I've started meeting people all around the world, and things have gotten better and better. And people are mailing me really cool gifts. Like this company said, Kvon, we want you to have this deck of cards. It's a golden deck of cards. I said, all right. And look at this. They said, because you are the golden joker. The golden joker right there. Pow. And if you know Persian, that means tala. The joker tala. The golden joker. There you go. I just taught you a word in Farsi. Tala. Afghanis speak Farsi as well. We're going to talk about those people. And we're going to get into some stuff. But that wasn't the best gift that I got. This is very thoughtful. I love it. I will be playing cards with that. Thanks to a company, I have a new patriotic piece sent to me. They loved this. They said, Kvon, you're the most red, white, and blue half Persian in the world. We love this, but it's made of tin. We want to handcraft a piece of wood for you. Handmade wood that we think represents your show even better. I said, my goodness. So look at this. These stars, you can't tell. They're kind of raised. So you have to be very careful. This is not your outdoor patio furniture, friends. This is delicate. The smell of wood, I love it. And I don't know, does it look like Captain America just puked on my screen right now? It could be. So maybe this will be on display somewhere in my home. But I want you guys to pick up a piece, if you'd like, and go to bridgethegapshop.com. Then send them an email and say, make mine nicely. I saw it on Kvon's show. When we come back, it is time to break into some fun stuff and some depressing things. Luckily, we have the red, white, and blue to keep our spirits up. Hey, I'm getting word that we already have a super chat. Would you believe it? Someone has already thrown a tip in the bucket, and that is Pamela Stay. I guess that's Stoy. I just saw it and I was like, Pamela, don't leave. Stay. But that's Pamela Stoy. Thank you for the generous donation. And I believe we even have another one from Mika. That's for you, Mika. Thank you. Thank you. So what are we going to do today? What are we going to do? Well, we have to talk about the elephant In the room, your fearless comedian was trying to warn you for months not to vote for Biden, then warn you for months, it's very bad that Biden is there. I started the whole LGBTQ movement. Let's get Biden to quit. A lot of people said, well, then Kamala goes in. Yeah, she's bad too, but let's not hide her like we did Biden, then whip her out, surprise half the country that didn't know she's an idiot, put her under the lamp so we can see what we're dealing with because, well, you now have your fill of Joe Biden. I hope you're happy. But before we get into the negativity, I just got back from Orlando and Tampa. Those shows were amazing. And what they didn't tell me was, I was like, can I go to the gym? They go, yeah, it's on the first floor. You can head down to the gym. And I go, it's late at night. It's like 11 at night. They go, it's open 24 hours, sir. And my time change was off because, Florida is 3 hours ahead of California. So I thought, okay, I'll just go to the gym late at night. And they didn't tell me the gym was down the exact same hallway as the nightclub. So at 11 o'clock at night, I'm in my sweats going past this scenario.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I got what you need if you wouldn't have having drugs. Come give me a hug, you feel like getting drugs.
Unbelievable. So you could find me in the club, but it was the fitness club. And I had to walk past all the hoochie mamas who were like, ew, why would you wear that to the club? I'm like, girl, I'm going on the treadmill. I don't know about you. So that's what happened. Now, we have a fun event that I attended in Orlando, Florida. Jesse Lee Peterson. I hope you'll check out some of his videos. He's amazing. Jesse Lee Peterson was raised on a sharecropper's farm in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. He picked cotton as a young boy for a little side change, doing his chores. He, African-American, ended up moving to LA, starting a janitorial company, then started cleaning a hospital and said, is there anything I could do here that you need? They said, we need someone who can transcribe medical records. Back in those days, they didn't have Dragon Speak where you just say, this patient needs 50 cc, da, 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 and it goes. So he had to listen to the recording and hand type all that. And then he started a radio show and he started mentoring the youth. So he had a men's only event, men's only. And he wanted me to be the comedian there. Some of the radical leftists, Patton Oswalt, some famous names, like the guy from Ratatouille, various people on Twitter, they heard there was a men's only event in the past that I was doing, and they started criticizing your boy. They were being so racist against me. I guess they didn't realize I was half Persian, and they were saying hateful things. This guy's a white supremacist. This guy sucks. Who wants to see a Kvon? That sounds like a disease. Well, those idiots missed out on one heck of a show. And with your permission, I wanted to show you what a comedy show for men only looks like. I posted this yesterday, and I thought I was going to take some heat from the ladies because some of the jokes are a little rough. Would you believe 75% of the positive compliments for the comedy came from women? So I don't think it's a women's thing. I think it's a leftist thing. Leftists don't like hard-hitting comedy. And conservative women, confident women, moderate women, women who don't mind if guys go out and joke because they know damn well they go to a bachelorette party and they joke about some things. Believe me. So if you guys want to see what men's comedy looks like at a huge men's leadership conference, let me know in the chats. As you're doing that, I'm going to give a shout out to some of our donors who have slipped through the cracks, but they are not forgotten. We have Darius Dillon, who threw in $1. And some people might say, Kvon, that's just $1. When you have 328,000 subscribers, if every one of them put in $1, I could do this more than once a week. I could hire a team. We could do a 5-day-a-week show. That is a bigger budget, if they did that weekly, than Trevor No Laughs and Stephen Colbordum combined. But of course, we also have Beth Coddington, who kept it real, $50 in the bucket. You guys rock. I'm putting your names on the screen so you go down in infamy as part of the team. Thank you, PJ Sneringer. who brought me to Gettysburg to perform for his friends and family. All right. It turns out Becky, a female, says, I want to see this men's comedy show. Patricia doesn't seem to be fazed by a group of men getting together for 2 hours in the evening in a convention center. Why are some people so anti? I had so many people going, I bet they're planning really horrible things. Have you hung around with men? Drinking beer, hanging out? We really don't have that kind of a motivation. We're just having a great time. And you'd be surprised how many women's only leadership events and Mother's Day only events I've attended. So we have enough females voting. They're not going to get offended. Let's show some men's comedy. You get a sneak peek.
11th annual men conference down in Orlando, Florida. And we did it in Florida. I'm glad that we did. But what caused us to go to Florida was the Chinese virus, and the liberal Democrats won't let the liberal states go free. Too much restrictions. So we went to Florida, where you are pretty much free. And I'm glad we did. I do want to say thank you. It was absolutely far beyond what I would have imagined it to be, really. Because I have an attitude now of wait and see about everything. And you will grow into that too if you live in the present. But so I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping for the best, of course, but it was beyond. And everybody and their daddy who showed up Saturday night, we had a packed room. I think the room held a little over 300 people, and it was every seat taken. Oh, yeah, there it is. And then the men came from all around the country, and I met a couple guys out of the country. We would have gotten more had not it been for the Chinese thing locked down around the world. But they came from everywhere, all races, young and old, middle-aged, black and white and Mexican and Chinese, all races. And the entertainment, the comedian.
Yeah, his name's Kvon.
Kvon. Check him out on YouTube. Amazing. And we've had Kvon before. He was absolutely amazing.
What an honor to be here, to be able to do comedy for a room full of alpha males. That's amazing. That's cool. I'm a little tired. I just got done celebrating White History Month, so... And then now it's Men's History Month, so I'm like... The only reason I have any energy is because I didn't celebrate Juneteenth. That's the only reason And this is a diverse group. The media wouldn't call this diverse, but we have true diversity in this room. We have, where's my Mexicans at? Mexicans, where you at?
Yes, one nation, under God, with liberty.
Yeah. Mexicans are hardworking. They'll do the Pledge of Allegiance twice. I believe that we have a room full of endangered species. There are black Trump supporters in this room. You just look kind of tan. I don't know about you. But yes, that's amazing. The media tries to say they don't exist. Like, oh, we found a room full of them. The endangered black Trump supporter. They didn't vote for Joe Biden, so now they're white.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
We all came for a very special reason, because of one man tirelessly working for the last 30, 40, 50, 70, 80, how old are you? 90 years. Just to think people think he should do this every month in a different city or whatever. We don't want to take up too much time. The reason we're doing the event here is Jesse's got to go win a bodybuilding competition right after the event. It's a new category, biggest balls. Biggest balls. It's him or a transgender woman. I don't know who's I tend to make fun of things you're not supposed to make fun of. I was told that's what comedians are supposed to do. And that's why I'll do any event, anytime for this group, whenever they ask me, because that's what comedians are supposed to fight back about whoever thinks they're in power at the moment. And that's what I do. I make fun of the radical left. How often does this show go down? Is it 3 hours a day, 5 days a week? Plus the Fallen State, plus he's traveling to Florida. This is the hardest working man in media right here. Hardest working man. And so we have a little test. We're going to just go around randomly. We're going to ask who is a big fan, who thinks they're a big fan of Jesse, like a really big fan. All right, have Nick go get the, I'm sorry, that's right, not a big fan, not a big fan. Have Nick go and get the phone. Yeah, get the phones for me. I got one for you. BLM is a hate group worse than the founded by fat, radical. This is how much impact just went out. Everybody knows that one. Everybody knows. Georgia on my mind. When Jesse sings, it is the best. I want him to release an album of all his favorite songs that no one else has ever heard of. How about this one? Boy, you've been smoking pot! Smoking pot. All right, a little trivia. We gotta go to this side of the room. Who is this person? Name this person. The Wicked Witch of the West. You got it right here. You got it. Big Mama. You guys are good. How about this one? This is a good one I got right here. Oh, the Great White Hope! Standing ovation. That's what you want to do. And I'll tell you what, when you do a room full of 350 people in a ballroom setting, 90% of comedians would bomb in that scenario. People are eating pie, they're looking this way, they're facing the wrong way. So that was years and years of training in bad environments, pizza parlors, Persian dinner settings, going to shelters and performing for the Alcohol Anonymous groups. And you start to ride that wave a little bit. And man, I felt like I was surfing in Florida. It was amazing. Speaking of amazing, Robin Lee coming through with a super chat. And let's not forget Christopher Jacobs as well. Thank you so much. That was a little taste of comedy, and the audio was a little tough. I wasn't really planning on sharing that, but the show went so well, I said, let's let some people see it. So the one rule of a men's only comedy event is don't be a beta. And if you want to see a live show, then you got to come check mine out. We're going to be in Hollywood, Las Vegas, Huntington Beach, North Dakota, San Diego, Houston, and more. If any of those dates look good to you, you can pick up your tickets on kvon.tv. Just to sweeten the pot, since you're watching my show, I'm giving away 5 free tickets to Hollywood and 5 free tickets to Las Vegas. Find me on info@k-voncomedy.com. Tell me how you heard about it. And each person that writes me will get 1 ticket until all 5 are gone. When we come back, it is time for Comment of the Week. This one I just loved. I'll tell you why. This came to me on YouTube. I said I have to screenshot, screen grab, and screen share it. It goes a little something like this. And I read for my podcasters. Don't ever let Kayvon do his comedy bits on an airplane. It will destroy the left wing. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Now, we go here to terms and definitions of The Right Show. Each week, I try to tell you a little bit about the words I'm going to be using so you're not confused. You don't want to be confused. If I make a statement too quickly or, I don't slow down enough, and then you're wondering, what the heck is he talking about? So here's what we're going to do. And I'm changing that to blue so that you can, I was red on red, too much red. Do you agree? Put it in the chats. All right. Terms and definitions of the Right Show, just so that you know what you're dealing with. The deadliest virus ever. Please put in the chats what the deadliest virus ever is. Obviously, COVID-19, the deadliest virus ever, except for Obama's birthday bash, where COVID-19 knows not to go and not to affect the VIP elite guests of Barack Obama's 60th. If you weren't following the news, Barack actually had a party. None of his celebrity friends wore masks. Many of them politicians, many of them actors, athletes, singers, and they know that you don't need a mask, and they know it doesn't really work. And AOC, Alexandria Occasional Cortex, she knows it doesn't work either with big old eyes. But when the cameras are on, they put on the mask to virtue signal to you how safe they're being. And then when they think no one's looking, the cameras are shut off. The mask comes off as well. Barack Obama's birthday party videos were circulated, some of which by the DJ and some singers, and they were contacted and they were reprimanded and they were told to take those videos down. We're still in the middle of confusing and scaring the American people with the plan sketchy. Next, term and definition. Masks are mandatory for all people. Dr. Anthony Fauci told you you don't need masks. Then he said you don't need masks. And now they're mandatory for all people. 2 to 3 masks are better than none. So we know masks are mandatory except for refugees and Texas Democrats. If you didn't follow that story, I watched the news so you don't have to. A group of Texas Democrats were expected to vote on some voting security regulation, and they jumped on an airplane with a Bud Light 6-pack and flew to DC saying, we know we're supposed to vote, but we are going to obstruct the process of democracy by leaving. And we don't believe in the democratic process. We don't believe in a fair vote or a fair election. So we're going to just leave so that they're not able to hold that vote in Texas. So they all belong in prison. We can let the June 6th people out and we can put the Democrats in, the Texas Democrats, if you believe in free and fair elections and not obstructing. They've all broken the law. But the one thing they did is they all got on a private jet, ruining the environment, and they all flew to DC with no mask because they know, as well as Barack Obama, you don't need a mask. All right. And finally, the term and definition you need to know. Women and gay rights are the most important thing to the Democrats, except not worldwide. Not worldwide. Why else would you abandon your post in Afghanistan, leaving an unstable government there, and allow thousands of men to come take over the country, that you had put women as politicians, you had falsely installed ladies as different places of power in the shim-sham Afghanistan government, and now you're going to let the Taliban come in, and how do you think those women and gays are going to be treated, the ones Biden left behind? That leads me into Biden's Trashcanistan problem. Biden's policies, and I warned everybody about this, are about as good as Jimmy Carter's. Jimmy Carter did not support the allies, Iran, and so then the embassy was stormed. The students led the process. We're pushing for progress. We're going to get rid of the monarch. Change, change, change. And they unlocked the gate and ushered in the Islamic radicals. And they danced when they overtook the American embassy, and they laughed. And that was the last time they laughed and danced ever again. Because for the next 40 years, they have not been allowed to laugh, dance, hold hands, go on dates, party in the street, have a New Year's Eve celebration. They have been hiding under the covers, so to speak, against their will. And that's what progressives will lead you to. They'll give you so much progress, they lead you right off the edge of the cliff. Right off the edge of the cliff. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've made a little compilation. It's already going viral. But some of you have been working all day. Obviously, you're Republicans or conservatives or moderates, so you do have a job. You are not radical leftists who don't see the need. So I want you to watch this, and this will give you a little insight into Trashcanistan. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. Because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well-equipped, as well-equipped as any army in the world, and an air force against something like 75,000 Taliban. It is not inevitable. We went for two reasons. One, to bring Osama bin Laden to the gates of hell, as I said at the time. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan.
Chanting death to America, but they seem friendly at the same time.
نور شان دغه دي دغه امپورونی وګورئ وړلې دي دغه دربینان دي د غزای مخابرې دي د راکټان دي د سکلان دي دغه چې دي دغه نو
There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan.
ويهديك صراطا مستقيما.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We have to live through that, watch that, see that. America used to be the one everybody feared, the strongest force. We don't fight wars to win anymore. Our generals are having the soldiers put on high heels and makeup and do a diversity day of training. What's it like to walk around the base in 6-inch heels? So that way you know what the female officers are going through. And should we have a gender transition training day and all? We're not in it to win it anymore. That's why the Simone Biles thing kind of irked conservatives and moderates quite a bit, because she was in the middle of the competition. She was in the Olympics mid backflip and just bailed and said, you know what? It's actually like a really big champion move to like know when to not keep going, like when to quit. And the left was like, yes, that's what we live for. Afghanistan is that version of that at the most magnified level. It's let's quit, let's leave, let's abandon our post, and let's compliment ourselves on the way out the door. This is actually a good idea. This is good for me. We still have 20 to 80,000, they don't know for sure, Americans and pro-American, maybe interpreters, people that aided the Americans, who will be dealt with in the most of efficient ways by the Taliban. So that is what Biden did. Now you have to ask yourself, is he so stupid that he made that wrong prediction and he pulled people out during, this is what's called the fighting season? Because when winter hits in a few months, the Taliban, they're not up for the challenge. They don't want to fight. And I halfway think he's stupid, but I have this conspiracy theory version of me that says, did he do this on purpose? Did he purposely leave during the middle of fighting season, leave 300,000 troops to abandon their post? Now the Taliban has 300,000 guns, bulletproof vests, rocket projectiles. They've got 3 to 4 Black Hawk helicopters. Did he just arm them on purpose? There's now a bunch of planes coming in with 8 to 10,000 refugees, and they're bringing them all to Texas. Why Texas? Why not a base in Germany or Gitmo, or drop them off in Guam? Why Texas? Well, Texas is a red state, and there's only one way to bring in 80,000 illegals with no mask, no COVID test, no vaccine, none of the rules you have to follow, and drop them in a state and then disperse them from Texas. By the way, now we don't know who's in that airplane. Yes, we hope all 8,000 of them are just innocent women and goat herders that needed a hand. But what if 10% of them kind of also hate America? Sleeper cells. And now we distribute them around Texas, and they can kind of, you're free to roam about the cabin, free to roam about the country. And now what? Now what are we going to see at a concert in 5 years from now, once they've kind of got their little cells together? What are we going to see at a local nightclub shooting? What are we going to see at a New Year's Eve bash? And then, since the radical left refuses to isolate who's causing the problem, they're going to blame the guns or the weapons used to do that, and then once again come after your freedom, your Second Amendment, and your First Amendment if you dare to call it out. Am I just a crazy conspiracy theorist, or am I onto something? Let me know in the chats. We'll be right back. Very tough stuff to watch. I don't even like talking about it. My comedy career has shifted because there's too much crazy stuff going on. And as you know, I've always loved the United States. I've never had to fight and defend it this much, but we have either a very stupid president or a very evil one, or the worst combination, stupid and evil. And his whole administration is run by a bunch of 24-year-old radical feminists that just graduated Ivy League schools just 2 semesters ago. All right, there are some people we have to give a shout out to. Robin Lee, K.E. Wolf, and Dina E. I think it's Dina, because one time I said Dinah and she got mad at me. We're going to find out in the comments if I did any better this time. So it is now time for one of my favorite things. But before we get into that, I want you to type it in the comments. What is the difference between a leftist and a conservative? If we keep defining it, maybe people who think they're on the left will say, well, I guess I'm more of a moderate or even slightly conservative. They say the problem with a lot of Latino voters is they're conservative. They just don't know it. So they go in the little booth, close the curtain, and punch the Democrat button because they just want to fit in with their friends and family. We're going to make sure you know if you're a radical leftist or you're a moderate or a conservative. So put the definition, the difference between a conservative and a leftist in the comments. And while you do that, I have my tank tops at home, and I also have my pro-LGBTQ mug. You can get these on my website. Water tastes so much better when you drink from here. And it reminds us to keep our eyes on the prize. I believe it's not going to be long before Biden has to take the long walk to say goodnight to America. Cackling Kamala comes in, and I'm going to change all my branding at that point. It's going to be game on. All right, we have a shout out here from Stephanie Garcia, who put a super chat. Thank you. Here we are now. Before we turn off any viewers that are saying, this guy, he's just talking about conservatives and moderates, and I'm on the left, I hate you. Maybe you're a liberal. Maybe you're a true liberal, as are most of my viewers. So you are in a safe place, believe it or not. A liberal says, I want to wear my mask. I think it helps me. But you don't have to. Just keep your distance and do your own thing. A liberal might say, I love injecting heroin into my veins. But you don't have to, but that's what I do for fun. That's a liberal mentality. A leftist will say, how dare you judge anyone for injecting heroin in their veins? Everyone should be allowed to do it. There should be free needles for everyone, and it should be something our city sponsors and you pay for because you're an angry, hateful, racist Hitler Nazi. That is a radical leftist, which is a mainstream leftist. So, conservative versus leftist goes something like this. I believe conservatives think long-term, big picture. If a conservative were in Afghanistan, they would not just yank everyone out and say, bye. Oh, wait, there's still 25,000 Americans and different interpreters there that we owe something to. I believe if Trump or a conservative were in office, then absolutely they would have a planned evacuation process and maybe even leave a few thousand troops. Definitely the runways would be protected from a bunch of refugees and Talibans running to keep up with the plane and grabbing onto the tires as it takes off. That is an oversight like never before. So leftists, they like to talk about human rights all day long. They like to talk about theories, but their decisions end up hurting everyone in the long run. Let's see what you guys put in the comments. And we'll see. Conservatives believe in sustainable development. That goes hand in hand with what I was saying. 55 Debacle Franklin says, I hate to say it, conservatives have dropped the ball. We should have never let things get this bad. No, I don't know what else to tell you. I was building my YouTube channel and trying to sound the alarm. I never voted in my life. I was like, what am I? I'm a comedian. I don't know enough to vote. The radical left doesn't know enough to vote either. Anyone who doesn't know enough to vote shouldn't. But what does MTV tell every young, dumb person they have to go do? Pressure. You're uneducated. All you focused on is TikTok videos, but you need to get out and vote because MTV knows and Viacom knows and ABC and Disney Channel knows that you've been watching their dumb stuff, and then they're going to tell you who their celebrities want you to vote for, and then you're going to go do it. So young people should not vote unless you have highly educated yourself in the issues and you can articulate them well. You're not just picking a color. Oh, he's black. Duh! I pick a black guy because I'm black. No. Vote or die. Ball Nuts knows what I'm talking about. Vote or die. They basically tell you, you need to vote or you might as well die. And you're a young, dumb kid. So let's swamp all these stupid old people who have a mortgage. They've paid credit card bills. They've paid off their own college. They put a white picket fence up front. They've raised 3 booger eaters. They have a cat, a dog, and a home on the range. You have lived for free your whole life. You're like, I still want free college. This is weird. And now you're going to go out and vote and swamp the vote. It's unbelievable. All right, when we come back, we're going to have a leftist who had no idea she's not a leftist. This is why I do my show, because some people are waking up every time we watch. They inbox me, they email me, they say, Kayvon, I thought I was a leftist. I'm just like you. So, Tommy Lee, the rock star, you know, he was on that band Motley Crue. He's in the drum set. He always had a hot wife or girlfriend going way back. Way back. There was a woman from Melrose Place. Put it in the comments. Blonde, gorgeous. She was also, I think she was in TJ Hooker. It was like a show. beautiful blonde girl. I don't even know what her name was. You guys will tell me. And then he married the Pamela Lee. You know, just all these girls from daytime television shows. This is my Pamela Lee impression. Okay? This is a PG impression, but podcasters, it looks pretty good. And now he's married to a 28-year-old girl. He is pushing 60. And her name is Brittany Furlan. Brittany Furlan. Oh, Heather Locklear. Thank you. Thank you, Tony and Sheila. Heather Locklear. Let me tell you something. Very good looking. All right. So, Tommy Lee's new wife, Brittany Furlan. She is shocked because she's always been pro-LGBTQ and loved everyone and given support to everyone. But they went through her old Vine videos and her old TikToks, and now they're attacking her. What? And every day I meet people, and they're like, well, you're a little too political for me. I never wanted to be political. I'm a comedian who would go to colleges and make people laugh. But there came a time where it wasn't about whether I liked politics or not. People's politics kept getting thrown at me. How dare you? That joke was wrong. That joke offended this group. I'm not in that group, but I was offended on behalf of that group. Your joke is not right. And then I was getting canceled and fired. I'm like, I better start learning about politics, because either way, there's a bear trap. And my Tommy Lee keeps falling in it. If you don't want to get your Tommy Lee snapped off in a bear trap, then you better learn where those bear traps are and either learn how to set them off on purpose or avoid them. Here is Brittany Furlan, a leftist, who is now realizing she's not a leftist anymore. Put in the chats what you think as you hear her talk.
Why do you have to be so vigilant about making people like, you gotta pay, or you gotta know that I didn't like it, or you gotta know? Like, I feel like in life, it's like we're all gonna be dead one day and nothing matters. So who really cares? Like, just have fun while you're here. And if you can't, then that's really sad.
So there you have it. I want to share with you, that's just one person that kind of woke up, and she's been getting bashed and beaten around, and she's starting to realize these people don't talk for me. They don't represent me. She's turning 28, 29, so she's getting a little older, being like, oh, maybe being a radical leftist is not such a good idea. She still wants to play nice. She still wants to apologize over and over, but she's about to hit her breaking point. And that's when people start finding me, and my channel starts to grow. So consider yourself a moderate. Consider yourself, oh, I said that weird. Consider yourself a moderate. Consider yourself a conservative. Consider yourself a liberal. But whatever you do, just say no to the radical left. Now, I like to always end this show with a laugh, and there's nothing funnier than Biden, who's both scary and hilarious. He's scalarious. So let's end with some light humor, because this has been a very heavy episode of The Right Show. And I love cereal, and I'm not the only one. You love cereal, but who loves cereal the most? Joe Biden. That's right. Just a few months back, Cereal Lovers of America held a Joe Biden rally, and nobody attended it, because that's how all of Joe Biden's rallies were. In fact, whenever kids get in trouble, parents can start yelling at them this way: you behave, or you're gonna have a little Joe Biden rally in the corner by yourself. I don't want to have a Joe Biden rally. Well, that's too bad, young man. You should have thought of that before. When I heard there was a Joe Biden rally for cereal lovers, I couldn't help but think, what does Joe Biden have to do with cereal? And what kind of cereal does Joe Biden even like? Well, think about it no more. I have compiled a list of Joe Biden's favorite breakfast foods. These are the 4 Biden meals to eat every morning before you go run a half-ass election. Check it out. We all saw this one going around online, Faker Votes, which actually got me thinking there's gotta be more. So I came up with this one, Cheetos. Hey, so there you have it. That video is part of a longer one. I'm slowly releasing it throughout the week, and I hope you enjoy each installment of it. Hey, did you know we tell truth through comedy? We're waking America up with laughter. Sometimes there's more laughter than others. We have no corporate sponsors, no big brands. It's just us bringing justice. And look how many people are part of the show. Podcasters. If you log in, you're going to see all these names scrolling by. These are individuals that keep growing in numbers that say, hey, I like the message. I like laughing. I like pushing back against the radical left. I can't do it myself because, you know me, I work at X company or work for this employer or at this school district. So here, Kayvon, just advertise your videos to a few more people. And we even picked up $1,000 a month sponsor, which is going to allow me to boost my videos so that they land on people's feeds that wouldn't normally stumble upon me. It's just casting a bigger net, bringing more people in, and I bet we get to 1 million subscribers in the future. Now, how do you make a one-time donation? It is so simple. PayPal.me/TanksGod or Cash App, $KvonComedy. We all know who use Cash App. Okay. And Venmo @TanksGod. Give that a try. Just set that up. And I want to say thank you for watching The Right Show, your continued support. Like I said, I'm going to be in Las Vegas, San Diego. I'm going to be in Hollywood. And I'm going to give out a few free tickets to you guys because you tune in every Wednesday and support me, even when the pandemic was fully on and I couldn't leave my sauna. That's why it's getting hot in her. One thing that I do that a lot of people don't is I head over to locals.com after this and we do a wrap-up of the show. You can ask any questions you want. You can do an Ask Me Anything. You can basically make fun of me to my face. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to leave this running, and I'm going to highlight your chats, and we're going to go over to locals.com, which is KvonComedy.locals.com, and you can say, hey, your YouTube sent me over here, and we're going to do an episode wrap-up. This is the 25th The Right Show podcast episode, and we have so many more episodes to go. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Peace!
Right.